Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Welcome to Anything Bagel.
It is anything time. Who is drawing today?
I think it's me drawing today. I
Oh.
think you drew last time, if I
Yeah.
remember correctly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was the country.
Yeah, we're glad to have you here. We want to thank our listeners, those who have been listening
Yes.
and subscribing. It's much appreciated. And those who have given us some more ideas for our hat.
Make sure to share with your friends. If you're listening, share.
Yes.
That'd be great.
If one of our episodes is something that you feel like somebody else would either enjoy or they hear something that might resonate with them,
Yeah.
pass it along.
Yeah.
So let's see here.
All right. You ready?
I am ready. I'm
Our
going to
hat.
draw.
So lucky hat.
Ooh, today's is a deep one.
Oh, no.
It is addiction.
Okay. This will be.
Okay. A pretty deep, a deep topic.
Yeah.
We compared to our country one last time. So yeah.
Where should we start? This is a deep topic.
It is a deep topic. There are so many places that we could go with this. Let's see.
I think maybe I'll start with, addiction doesn't have to be a substance, or I guess I don't know, the word substance isn't right because I'm thinking of like scrolling, food, unhealthy relationships. There's a lot of addictions in the world right now.
Right.
I think.
Yeah, so we could go with to start out with some of the less obvious that people might not think of as addictions. I'll start with the relationship one because there are a lot of people that are addicted to needing to be in a relationship.
Yeah.
And they are not comfortable being alone. And so therefore will stay in a relationship, like you said, too long.
Yeah.
And it's a relationship that's not healthy for them.
Yeah.
In fact, I listened to a podcast the other day. Imagine Mel Robbins, and she was talking with Matthew Hussey, who is like on YouTube as a relationship.
Yeah.
He's got like the most popular relationship YouTube channel. And just talking about, the different levels of relationships. And it was pretty interesting that he came up with like 4 different levels of relationships. And if you are in a like level 1, which is just kind of, maybe enamored with somebody or you think they're cute or that kind of a thing. And the other person is in like a level 2 where they think that this is something, and that there's going to be some commitment at that level, how hard it is to, be in a relationship with somebody who's at a different level. And that we're often scared to have the difficult conversations of what we want in a relationship because we're afraid the relationship will end.
Yeah.
Instead of looking at that as we need to have the difficult conversation to find out if the relationship should keep going.
Yeah, because some relationships, and I hope that we all learn this sooner rather than later, but some relationships are meant to come into our lives and they're also meant to leave. You don't have to stay clung to a relationship just because you're addicted to like that type of relationship. So sometimes they're meant to come into your life and then you have to allow them to leave, which the way out of that relationship would be having that hard conversation, because then you'll realize that this isn't what either of you wanted or expected. So yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And understanding, for one, what you want and need in a relationship. Are you looking for just more of a friendly dating, going out, having fun kind of relationship, or do you want more than that? But you need to know what you need in a relationship, and you also need to know your values.
Yeah.
Because if a relationship doesn't support your values or your or needs or wants in a relationship, then it's just not the relationship for you. But it's so hard
Yeah.
for us to
Yeah.
cut something off unless you got something else to jump into. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like
Because we get comfortable.
or we think, if I end this relationship, I'm never going to have another one.
Yeah.
Which is totally,
Mm-hmm.
you might not have another one right away, but that's
Yeah.
where learning to love yourself comes into play too. Because,
Which I think is the root of all addiction.
oh, I think so too.
I think.
Yeah.
At least in my opinion, if you just take it back to loving yourself, you clear out a lot of crap.
Right. And being comfortable, there's a difference between being alone and being lonely.
Mm-hmm.
And figuring that out and figuring out how to be alone with yourself and enjoy yourself and enjoy the things you like to do. I know another one of our topics that'll come up at some point when it gets drawn out of the hat is dating yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that. I like doing that.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Although going to a public place by yourself does take practice.
Yes.
But if you don't ever, you got to practice. You got to do it. But it is going by yourself in public definitely takes practice, but that's where the fake it till you make it, like your confidence and stuff comes in, because, sitting at a restaurant by yourself or going to do something like me and Bourbon by yourself, it's just a new experience.
Right, a new experience. But then, we've mentioned this kind of a concept lately quite a bit, is who said that it wasn't okay.
Yeah, who said?
To a restaurant or a movie or a concert by yourself.
I know.
Who said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have
you ever been on vacation and the stress sometimes of, if you're the planner or the one responsible for, everything, and you want to make sure that everybody's happy and that everybody's having fun and all that kind of thing. And sometimes it would be nice just to go on a vacation by yourself, just every once in a while, where there's nobody to keep happy. There's nobody to schedule their time or make sure, you do what you want.
Whatever you want.
And there's no
see, I'm craving that.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm gonna. Yeah. If I hop on a plane,
there you go.
It's because
Yeah,
I'm itching.
Let's see, what else can we? What other?
Oh, what do you think?
Food is another one that. Sugar addiction. I'm gonna go there. Go in there.
Do it. Yeah.
Because sugar is just as addicting, or if not more, than cocaine.
And I don't know why if you are a science person and you need statistics and facts, just Google it. This sugar is so bad for you. Or why don't you be a science experiment yourself and cut out the sugar and see how better you feel?
Right.
Because
see how good your joints feel and see how inflammation goes down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm talking
energy level.
Natural sugars are definitely okay.
Right.
God made fruit, and those are natural. But these sugars, there's not even sugar anymore. It's just not even.
What's that ingredient that's in everything that you can't get away from it? The
high fructose corn syrup?
Yes. Yeah. High fructose corn syrup. Another name for sugar.
Yes. Number one ingredient.
Yeah. I wish we had a Whole Foods store around where we live.
I know. Wouldn't that be nice?
They limit the ingredients that can be in the products that they sell.
Yeah.
And so it kind of makes it a little easier.
Yeah.
Because I had read this thing, you should try to opt for the choice that has like 10 ingredients or less.
Yeah. Yeah. You can't do that.
Shop.
Yeah, not around. We do need a Whole Foods. What do you think? I'm thinking about addiction. I feel like we're an addicted culture in that if you're not addicted to something, something's wrong. Because it's just like sugar, food, alcohol, drugs.
Gambling.
It's really, gambling. Mm-hmm. It really is a soul problem.
It's trying to fill a hole in your soul.
Yeah.
With something that, that really can't fix that hole in your soul.
Yeah.
And, there are some people in addiction who have different chemical makeup, and, drinking alcohol or certain drugs or whatever are an allergy to the body.
Yeah.
And once that substance enters your system, there isn't any way to shut that off.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people think that addiction is like a moral disease.
Right. Yeah.
Like a person is a bad person because, and I always say about recovery that it's not bad people trying to get good. It's sick people trying to get better.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people
Yeah.
get that a little confused.
Yeah. And I think it should be, or I wish it was more talked about kind of that way. Like, it's not a bad person trying to get good. Because I think most of us, all of us, could probably relate to having someone who's been addicted to something in their life, and they're not that person,
Right.
or they're not a bad person. So I would, that if we change that lens, I think that would definitely help our world a little bit better.
I was just talking to somebody the other day and said that, that kind of, that same thing, and that people that are in addiction normally, especially if it's like drugs or alcohol, where it affects how you act, I guess, or even, any addiction. I'm not going there. Any addiction. You don't wake up in the morning and say, I'm going to hurt somebody. My goal today is I'm going to go out and I am going to hurt somebody. I'm going to make really bad choices that are going to hurt people. That's not usually how it goes.
Yeah.
Most people will wake up and say, I'm not going to do that today.
Yeah.
And then their car has like automatic whatever that drives them into a bar.
Yeah.
Or something like that. But most people don't wake up and say, I think I'm going to overeat today and make my body feel like crap.
Yeah.
That's just not the conversation.
No.
Yeah. I think it's getting more talked about. At least it's not so much like it was back in the day when if you were an alcoholic, you were a Skid Row bum.
Yeah.
Or anything like that, because any of the addictions that we've mentioned aren't picky.
No. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And it's definitely like a genetic learned behavior thing. So some people they're predisposed to that just because of genetics, facts of life, and
and it doesn't matter if you're rich, poor, male, female.
I hope we've learned that by now.
Yeah, none of that.
Yeah.
Phone addiction.
That's all of us.
Addiction. I think everybody can kind of be in agreement on that. That has definitely become a thing. And it's one of those things that a lot of people don't feel like it's harmful because they're not ingesting something or whatever.
It's pretty innocent, it seems, most of the time.
And we're all guilty of it. How many times have you been with someone, and instead of
looking up
to them, you're looking at this or the watch, because the watches go off.
Yeah, I got rid of mine for that reason.
Or people sitting with their kids, you see it in a restaurant. Where, the kids are sitting at the table, and
we need to be reminded that we do not need to be accessible all the time. You don't need to be accessible all the time.
Now, is that harder for the younger generation? Of course, you come from part of your generation.
Yeah, right? I would say it's definitely harder for Lexus and Avery's age. Yeah. Because that's just, unfortunately, that's where they're all socializing. I mean, even if they're in the same room, they're talking to each other on the internet. And I'm just like, what? What?
They don't know life any different. Where when I grew up,
and me
I'm
too.
Date myself, Coon's age days. That we had to actually go to the phone.
Yeah, gosh, I miss those days.
Dial the phone.
Yeah.
And then when I was a teenager, we had a really long cord on the phone so that you could go hide out in the pantry.
Yeah.
People wouldn't listen. But sometimes I'll think, how in the world did we ever do it? Not
I
being
know.
constantly
Yeah.
accessible all the time.
Yeah, I especially think about that in the parent's perspective, like, we would go swimming at the dam for hours and never come home, like, which was great. I mean, it was great because really what were we doing? We were actually swimming and playing and having fun. That's what we
Right.
were doing. But like for me, although I say I don't want to you're not accessible all the time, but I want Lexus to be accessible all the time. Like I want to know where she's at and like if she doesn't answer but
I mean,
it's just two different worlds.
it is two different worlds. And even though a lot of us had said, I'm not going to be a helicopter parent, we should be in like a helicopter.
Yeah.
But for now, it would be what's those things? The flyover
Drone parent. Yeah.
Drone parent. But
Yeah.
Now, back in my day, and I'm really going to date myself, we had a party line on our telephone too.
Oh.
So if you wanted to call somebody and you picked up the phone, there could be somebody talking on it. And you
could have a couple people on there.
Or listen.
You'd have to wait? Oh.
You'd have to wait until they were done.
Would it be somebody in your same house?
No.
What? It would be a random person?
Yeah.
No.
Neighbors.
What?
One or two other people would be on the same line that you are. So if you picked up the phone and they were having a conversation, and it could be an hour.
Oh my.
You just hang up the phone and then try again, 15 minutes, and they might still be talking. So if they were on the line, you couldn't be on the line.
Oh my.
I know. And that's how we figured out what time it was too. We called the time.
I seen that floating around the internet.
The time will be.
Somebody was cracking up about like that can't be true. Yeah. That's so funny.
Yep.
What else could we say about addiction? My gosh. You know what? Oh, I want to say this about addiction.
Okay.
If you are a family who has addiction, I think we should just talk about it. Just talk about it, even if that person is in active addiction, because really, I think that's when you all would need each other the most. And just sweeping it under the rug and having like just the parent help out with whatever that problem is. It just, if we're all more open and honest with each other, we'll all be able to get through it together and support the person who needs the help rather than making it a taboo topic.
Right. So talk about the elephant in the room.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel
everybody knows the elephant is there.
Yeah. And they're just staring at the elephant. Yeah. And then it's
a big purple elephant.
Yeah. I mean, is it hard? Yeah. But
we talk around it.
Yeah. Make excuses or. Yeah. But it would bring you closer together. I think it's brought some of us closer together. Just being able to
be open,
talk about it. Right. I mean, like you said, it's an elephant in the room. And once you say it or talk about it, it's just like a lot of tension released from the room.
Right. It loses its power.
Yeah.
Yeah. Things that nobody wants to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
As like in the Peanuts cartoon, not Linus, but Pigpen. Pigpen wandering around and he's always got that cloud of stuff following him around everywhere he goes.
Yeah.
And if you can talk about the thing, that's hovering over, it loses its power.
Yeah. And name it. I mean, it's not like it's, it's just, it just doesn't have its power when you talk about it, when you just put it out there. I mean, you don't have to have like a family powwow and have a whole big talk about it. I'm just saying, like, when you're out over for dinner or out to dinner and somebody's struggling with something, and not even the person in the addiction, I'm just, talking general. It can just help that person so much, like a mom or a grandma or a dad, an aunt, if you just like say, their addiction's really bothering me. Mm-hmm. And then you can just talk about it, and then it will go from there, and the universe will take care of it. Will help you manage the conversation.
I'm a person too who believes in, a problem shared is a problem cut in half. I would hear those things when I was younger and be like, what? We don't talk about it.
Yeah.
But it's so true. A problem
shared
is a problem cut in half.
Yeah.
It really is. And again, it's that power thing,
Yeah. And
you
if you
know?
can share with the people who are also in the same
Right.
problem, it's like so much cut in half, cut in half, cut in half, because you're all dividing the weight of
Mhm.
it.
Right.
And
Right.
yeah.
Yeah. And you make other people safe
Yeah.
to talk about it, and you make people feel not alone, because one of
Yeah.
the things that addiction loves to do, no matter what form of addiction it is it loves to isolate.
Mm-hmm.
It loves to isolate the person that's actively in the
Yep.
addiction. It likes to isolate the family.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so, talking about it lets other people know that it's okay.
Yeah.
That, I mean, it's not, okay that they're struggling, but you're not the only one.
Yeah. Yeah.
You by far are not the only one who
Yeah.
is going through something like this. And when people are more honest, I think we find out that really, like you said, everybody knows somebody.
Yeah.
Either
It's unfortunate, but it's the way it is. It's the truth. Unfortunately, that's the way it is.
Yeah, everybody knows somebody, or they know somebody who knows somebody,
Yeah.
because it's really not that far
Yeah.
away.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's some study on how far we are from like other people.
Yeah. Speaking of, side note, this is not addiction. Like 1 in every 5, or maybe it was 10 people is a murderer.
Oh no!
And I did not like that statistic, because I was like in a restaurant and I'm like, well, there's certainly 10 people in here.
I was thinking more along the lines of like the whole Kevin Bacon thing, actor, where they say everybody's acted in a movie either with Kevin Bacon or somebody who's been in a movie. Mine was
That's so funny.
Lighter note.
Sorry. Well, it's a heavy topic. And then it was just, what else could we say about this? I like this topic, but it's really deep.
It is very deep. We had a break last week, so we had
Yeah.
to go today.
Because for me, this is, I've seen it in a lot of aspects of my life. And it really, when you see it and you see people on the other side, it really just is about doing the work and the discovery of yourself and the voice inside.
Learning to love yourself, for me, has been a huge step in my life, and change and growth that I have had over the years. That really is huge for me.
Yeah. Can we say
to love and accept myself?
Yeah.
And to embrace my unique qualities.
Yeah.
Become my authentic self. I mean, these are things that I am still working on.
Yeah.
But a lot of reason, when I was a kid and I started drinking, I was shy, I was quiet.
Yeah.
It was hard for me to talk to people. I always felt kind of, I don't know, different, odd man out or something like that, I guess.
Yeah.
And for me, it made me not feel that way,
Yeah.
So it was all about trying to not feel one way, but, feel a different way.
Feel
like you fit in or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
I like the word, and I don't really mean instead of loving yourself, but I feel like accepting who you are.
Mhm.
Because underneath a lot of our trauma and or addiction, same thing kind of, is the real you, and just having to accept that and put it out there in the world. Also loving. It's just, who you are is perfectly okay.
Right.
Exactly who you are.
And it's self-worth. It's knowing where your worth comes from.
Yeah.
Your worth does not come from anyone or anything outside of yourself and your creator.
Yeah.
I had to do a presentation. Danielle knows this, last week in front of, a few hundred colleagues. And the thing one of the things I told myself that morning before I did that was that my worth doesn't come from anybody that's going to be in that room.
Yeah.
Nobody in that room.
Yeah.
And, that kind of relieves that.
Yeah.
The pressure and stuff. So
I think what I mean too, like by accepting yourself, is because we suppress or use the addiction to get rid of the parts that we don't like, when really, like for me, and like discovering myself is like, remember I talked about how if you see me out here wearing wild clothes, who said I couldn't wear the clothes that I wanted to wear? because I got those sweet flower pants.
Oh.
And I'm like, who said you can't dress those up and wear them for business casual? And then I did, because who said?
And it felt so good, didn't it?
Yes, I love them. Did you see the pants?
I don't think so.
Oh, you got to see the pants, because you will love the pants. You will know. You will know. You'll be like, oh, that's why you bought
like Rachel in her green corduroy.
Yes. So just even like the shy part of yourself, just love that part.
Right.
You don't have to change that part of yourself just because whoever said, somebody in your family, a coworker or a boss, you don't have to change it.
Right.
Just
embrace it.
Embrace it. And this is who I am.
Yeah.
So like it or leave it.
That's
right. I don't care.
Another weird, I was looking over here. I have this puzzle going over here. Another addiction I thought of is people that are addicted to animals and have way too many.
Oh, yes. That breaks my heart.
There's animal hoarders.
Yeah. Well, hoarders in general is quite a different.
That is an addiction in itself. Right.
Yeah.
That's to fill the soul hole.
Yeah.
With stuff.
Yeah.
Or animals.
Yeah. Things. Yeah.
And when they're looking, from the outside in, you can look and you can see that it's, oh my gosh, this is out of control. And it's crazy.
Yeah.
But when you're in it, you don't see that. I mean, there was out when we lived out in the country, there was one day there was a horse that got loose. And so I pulled into this driveway of this farm, and
oh no,
I couldn't believe like how many animals came flying out of the house.
Oh no.
And pens, and they were, and yes, it was their horse.
Oh boy.
But from the outside in, it was like there's no possible way that you could properly care
for that. Yeah.
But we are always trying to fill a soul hole.
Yeah.
With something. Yeah.
And really, I said this a couple weeks ago. The fastest way out is through. Mm-hmm. The fastest way out of anything, addiction, trauma, you just have to go through the shit and the suck.
Right.
Is you can't go around it. Mm-hmm. You can't. Going around it and trying to forget it, it will just lead you back to your addiction or whatever it is. Because the universe is going to constantly continue to bring you the situations that you haven't worked through or healed from until you work through and heal from them. Right. So you just gotta
that you won't say is there.
Go right through it. Yeah, you just gotta go right through it. Yeah. And I know it's kind of weird to talk on this topic because I think we both know it's easier said than done. Oh, yeah. And it's always like
100% sure.
Yeah.
Yes. But like you said, the only way to the freedom that comes on the other side of doing the work is to do the work.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a 12, in a 12-step program.
Yeah.
You're never going to know the freedom that comes on the other side of working through that unless you do it.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that will start, but they get stuck.
Yep.
And there's a reason and a purpose that they're that many, and there's a reason and a purpose that they're in that order.
Yeah.
And it's not a one and done.
Yeah.
I mean, it's something that you practice.
Yeah.
Like for the rest of your life. And the people that I feel are successful at that are the people who go through it.
Yeah.
And then they continue.
I mean, it just sucks.
Yeah.
There's no two way. Like, all of the quick fixes online, all of the do this or, does cold turkey work? Yes. But there's work to be done. Mm-hmm. And you just cannot.
Right. Because there's a difference between, and any kind of recovery, it doesn't matter if it's food, drugs, gambling, whatever it is, there's a difference between sobriety and not engaging in that activity. Like some people in the alcohol area, dry drunk is what you would call it. Or there's a person who has, a healthy sobriety.
Yeah, you said something the other day. There's a difference in sobriety and something you said. Like, maybe it is recovery. Maybe that's what you said. Because I loved that. There definitely is difference.
Because you can be miserable not doing something.
Yeah, you can be miserable
or you can be
not doing whatever it is.
Happy, joyous, and free and not doing something. But, it's a matter of that podcast that I was talking about with Mel Robbins and Matthew Hussey. the last 15 minutes of it, and it might even be the last 10, were just like amazing when I listened to it. And just to touch on it a little bit, and maybe I'll throw that topic in the hat, though, is that, we were sent to this earth, if you can look at it that way, to take care of one
I
human
like
being,
this.
one individual.
Yeah.
And that one human being individual is you.
Yeah.
And so if you could look at it that way, kind of outside of yourself, would you, why would
Eat
you
a whole
allow
bag of
that?
chips.
Right. Or why would you, drink until you blacked out? Or why, it would be like you standing there and pouring it down. Or why would you let that person, go to the casino and gamble their mortgage away?
Yeah.
Or why, just so many different things.
Yeah.
And if you could look at it that way, is that's the one person that you're responsible for, and it's relationships too.
Yeah.
Why would you let somebody treat that person that's your responsibility to care for like crap?
Yeah.
Degrading.
Yeah.
Disrespecting.
Yeah.
And
it's, Ooh, that's good.
Yeah. Because that one person is us.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
if you just take care of yourself, love yourself, all the rest of the stuff will fall into place.
Yeah.
It really will.
Responsible for kids, if you have children and that kind of a thing, but take that, out of the equation.
Yeah, because you will be a better,
focus on you.
Yeah, you'll be a better mom, dad, aunt, uncle to the people that you're like, but I have these people that I have to take care of. I can't take care of myself. No, as a society, I think we moved past that. You have got to take care of yourself. The old saying, you can't pour from an empty cup.
Right. And you got to put your air mask on first if you're going to save anybody else.
Yeah. And it's, hopefully somebody hears that and is like, yeah, I get that. Because you need it. I mean, you just, we both learned the hard way about taking care of yourself.
Try to think of yourself as your best friend, and what would you, and it's also how we talk to ourselves. In fact, he's or I think Mel says something about, we spend so much time like feeling bad or talking about how our parents raised us, and maybe we should be focusing more on how we're raising ourselves.
Yeah. Yep. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot to it, and it's a good start of a conversation.
Yeah, I feel like we need to throw it back in the hat.
Yeah, and throw it back in the hat.
Or put another version of that in.
Right. Or if somebody has, a version of addiction that we didn't touch on, because there can be so many different things.
Yeah.
Anything, God gave us like these things about ourselves, and these characters and qualities, and likes and dislikes, that kind of a thing. But it's when we go to excess with those things that they become, unhealthy, because we can do anything unreasonably excessive.
Yeah, anything. Spending,
I mean,
working in general.
Yeah, there's lots.
Yeah, you can do anything in excess.
Yeah, so if there's something that we didn't touch on that you would like us to.
And you're not alone.
You are not alone. Remember
you really, I mean, the elephant in the room, I bet if you just brought it up at work, you'd be surprised.
Or bring it up to somebody.
Yeah.
Find somebody.
Yeah.
To talk to about it, because problem shared is a problem cut in half.
Yep.
And it's that first, as you will hear us say so many times, that first action step. And if you have never openly shared it with somebody, find somebody that you can talk to.
Yep.
And start on that journey to healing, because you know what, we are given one life.
Yeah. Yep.
One.
Yep. And use your resources. Google what you're needing. If you're needing something for somebody in addiction or for yourself, don't make life harder. It's on the internet.
Right.
Find what you need on the internet.
Right. And there's lots of local resources everywhere. For people to help out. So.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
Well,
Are we done today?
I think we're done for today.
Okay.
Like
All
I
right.
said, if we didn't touch on something that you wanted us to, or there's another topic,
Mhm.
light or heavy
Yeah.
topic,
It can definitely be random.
right? Please put it in the comments or reach out to one of us.
Yeah.
And let us know.
We'll see you next time.
Yeah. Thank you for being here
On the Everything Bagel podcast.
Yeah. Where we talk about everything, anything. Did you know
And
on the
anything in
last
between.
one, I was talking about Italy, and then all of a sudden I started talking about France. Like,
no. I didn't even...
I said something about Italy, and then I
Oh,
said
that's
something
great.
about France, and then I went back to Italy again.
Oh, that's great.
So, like I said, some things you'll hear here are factual, and then some are just
a loose delusion.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for being on or listening to the Anything Bagel podcast, and we look forward to seeing you again.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.